everyone, to another edition of the Beyond Limits podcast. I'm your host, Eli Shalita.
And I'm your co-host, Greg Vaughn.
And today we have a very special topic we want to share with you, and that is on the subject of overcoming depression. Let's be real today. In the United States, statistics show that 1 out of every 5 adults in the United States battle with a form of mental illness. And for us to ignore this topic and say, well, everything is going to be okay, you're not going to battle with it, just have good thoughts about yourself and do all of the good stuff, and you're never going to battle with it. For us to say that will be unrealistic. But today we want to dive deep in the dark side of depression and how to overcome it. Because if it's not us, it could be a family member, coworker. Chances are you are going to be an associate with somebody that has battled, or you're battling yourself with mental illness. But the reality is we all want to be productive. We want to be contributing members of society that have value to be able to give back. Staying in depression is not healthy. And so the topic becomes, how can we overcome depression? So my co-host Greg and I have some strategies, 5 strategies to be exact, on how to overcome depression.
And the very first one, going back, everybody deals with depression, some form of depression. It may be in different levels, but the fact is that we deal with it. But how do we deal with it? First of all, the very first thing is that we need to talk to somebody about it.
Absolutely.
Don't hold it in. Don't keep it to yourself. If you're dealing with depression, if you feel like your world is caving in on you, so to speak, find someone that you can talk to. Anybody, your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, aunt, uncle, best friend, whoever it is. Get this off your chest. Don't hold it in. Don't be like a ticking time bomb and wait until the very last minute when everything's said and done and you just want to completely give up. So if you feel like you're depressed in some whatever area or whatever aspect of your life, you've got to tell somebody.
Absolutely. And, many times I've talked to several individuals working with profits and nonprofits and charities around the country. Many times the people that do actually commit suicide as a result of depression, oftentimes it's always blindsiding to the individual that is close to them. And I always get comments like, it was the last thing I've ever expected them to do. And the reality is, these people that are depressed, they're not sharing the feelings, the inner darkest secrets about themselves to anyone else, and that contributes in some way to their negative mental health aspect and causes them one day to take away their lives. And so what I'm saying is, if you are feeling, what my Greg and I are saying is, whenever you're feeling that way, you cannot just contain it within yourself. You've got to talk to somebody. You have got to alert somebody. It is of utmost importance that you open up and somehow tell somebody. They may not be able to relate to you 100%, but that is perfectly fine. That is okay. You're never going to find a person that is going to relate 100% to you and what you're going through, but they can shed some light that may be able to help you with whatever you're going through. But mainly, it is there so you can vent and be heard.
And that kind of leads in to the second point. Once you find that person and you get that weight off your shoulders, so to speak, you really need to find someone that you can be consistent with, that you can talk to, a mentor or someone that you feel has influenced you in a positive way, someone that you can talk to, whether it's your spouse or, again, a best friend, or maybe even a pastor on a religious aspect of it,
right. Someone
that you can look to maybe daily, text, email, talk, whether it's daily or weekly, or, the more that you can share with someone around you, the better. You don't want to keep anything bottled up. You don't want to wait until the very last moment. So find that mentor, find someone that you feel has an impact on your life. Again, it can be anyone, maybe even a trainer at a gym, or someone that you can not necessarily relate to, but someone that will help you, that will make you better, someone that can lead you in the right direction, someone that you can share your problems with without feeling like they're going to judge you or push you away or let you down in some way. But it's important that you find someone that you can consistently talk to.
And if you don't get that in your life, if you don't have access to these kind of people in your life, there's always the option perhaps to seek a physician's help. I've read the statistic that we have 20,000 trained mental health professionals in our country, and yet we're talking about over 60 million people that are battling with mental health. That is not enough. If you're not able to talk to a counselor on that level, talk to a healthcare provider. We have plenty of those, and they are trained. They might not be trained to the extent of the mental health provider. However, they are trained in some sort of a way, highly trained, to be able to address your needs. But the real problem is you need to seek somebody that knows what they're talking about to help you in your situation and alleviate whatever you're going through.
And once you find that person that you can talk to, that mentor, that you can have someone there consistently, kind of leads us into the next point. Number 3 is you've got to find something to keep yourself busy. A lot of the times we find where we're just sitting around the house, especially in today's age where, that we've got so many different types of media. We've got cell phones and Facebook and all kinds of social media in videos and Netflix and YouTube and Hulu and all these different things that are kind of keeping us enclosed
Right.
in our house, and it's not good for us. We need to get out of the house. We need to stay busy. Is one of the main things. Is a lot of the times we get into this slump, this depression. It's because we're not really doing anything. We're not being productive, and one thing that we could do is, even if it's just go outside, take a walk. If you got a dog, walk your dog, jog down the road, take your kids to the park. Something to get out of the house, something to stay busy, something to keep your mind occupied, because many of the times a lot of the depression is just, it's all in your mind. And when you feel like you're no good, you act on that, and so you sit around and you do nothing. But when you can find something to focus on other than just your own problems, you realize that your problems weren't really that big in the first place.
And one thing you have to remember is that consistency is key when it comes to this point. You can just do it every once in a while, where you go out of the house and drop down the phone and try to get serious about your mental health. You have got to do it every chance you get. You've got to do it. Be consistent with it. Stay consistent with it weekly, daily. Make it as part of your routine, and that will help you a lot in your mental health state. Now, I'm not saying it's going to eliminate depression altogether. We all wish that, but that doesn't happen. But we're talking about how to overcome depression, and doing a physical activity, doing something that's beyond just staying in the comfort of your home with the drapes shut, doors closed. We're talking about doing activities will contribute to a better health and mental well-being. And this brings me to our next strategy, and that is you've got to allow yourself an adequate amount of time to decompress. See, many people, whether you suffer with mental health illness or the lack thereof, you understand you have your own limitations. You understand that there are some things that may drive you insane, drive you to get overstimulated, and you want to avoid those. And again, whether you battle with mental depression or not, you know yourself, you know your limitation. So somebody that is battling with mental health, specifically in the area of being depressed, you want to allow yourself an adequate time to decompress and have a me time, something just for you, something that is, you don't have to worry about anything else, but just focus on your positive mental health state.
That's good. And one example for that works for me and my wife personally, that, every once in a while, we've got 3 kids, 11, one's almost 8 and 5. And it can be a little frustrating every so often.
I can relate.
And so it's good for us to have that me time. Usually, I'll take the kids and we'll go out, go to the park or do something like that. That way my wife can have some just alone time, just her, no kids, no fussing in the background, no loud noises, just some time that she can take a break. And the same with me. Again, going back to the activities, my me time, so to speak, is kind of one and the same, and it can be at certain times. My me time is I enjoy playing video games, and that's how I can kind of break away from some of that and take some time to decompress and just have some me time so I can kind of regather my thoughts and refocus. And so those are things that we need to apply to our life, that we can do just like that with the kids. My wife will take the kids. I can go play some video games, kind of refocus, and that personally, that helps me kind of decompress and get my mind back in order.
That's amazing. I love that. I personally I feel the same way you feel when it comes to video games. It's a big part of my life to help me decompress and get me just to kind of back on track when it comes to doing my responsibilities, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And but it doesn't have to be just one thing for me. If I was to add anything to that, would be going to the gym, and that's something I established throughout the week as a routine, 4 times a week. And no matter what I'm feeling, I'm going to go there. No matter what, I'm going to feel better at the end of it. Maybe not so good when I'm trying to work out under that heavy weight, but one thing for sure, when I'm done with it, my endorphins are kicking in. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling like I accomplished something that day. I'm sweating. I was stressing when I went there, but somehow at the end of the workout, I feel like I have accomplished something. And to all of our listeners, find something that will help you decompress, because stress, let's face it, is the silent killer of our people today in the United States of America. And we are so busy doing so much that we sometimes lose focus of our own wellness and health. And we wonder why so many people are getting depressed and taking it a step further, committing suicide, leaving behind loved ones and family that care about them. Why? They got caught up in the stresses of life, and they let that torment them, and they could not de-stress, find avenues to just get it out of their system, get that the stress hormones and all of the negative feelings out of their systems, and they kept it in, they internalized it, and the end result was horrific to them, their families, their loved ones, and future generations to come, all because somebody did not find a way to cope with their stress, and they let that destroy their lives.
And that leaves us with our final point. Number 5 is to adopt healthy lifestyle habits. We've really got to get to the point to where our life is consistent, almost to the point where I would even consider, pre-planning dinners. That'll take some stress off your life. If you've got your week planned out, might even save you a little bit of money. That's less you have to worry about. That's less that that's putting pressure on you. So pre-plan, put some structure into your life. Again, make sure we have healthy lifestyle habits. We want to make sure that we are physically healthy. Whether you're built 300 pounds or you're tiny, 160 pounds, just make sure that you're keeping your body at a physical level that you feel good. Also, you want to make sure that the food, what you're eating, is healthy. It reminds me of a commercial not too long ago where a guy is running to a train and he's got a donut in his hand and he's eating the donut, and he passes through the doors, and then all of a sudden he turns into the donut, and he looks across the way and there's a girl in front of him, and I believe she was like a shake or some kind of energy bar. In other words, you are what you eat. So if you're eating unhealthy food, you're going to feel unhealthy. It's going to, your physical is going to affect your mental. And we need to make sure that, what we put in is what we get out. So we need to make sure that we're putting in good so that we get out good. And on top of that, we want to make sure that we're getting good amount of sleep, good amount of rest. Don't stay up too late, and don't try not to overwork yourself. Make sure that you're getting a good sleep schedule in. Make sure that you're getting the nutrition that you need. Again, talking about healthy lifestyle habits, and these things will help you. Small parts will help you overcome your depression one step at a time.
And to add to that, Greg, specifically on sleeping, getting adequate amount of rest is very vitally important. It's crucial to our overall health. There have been so many statistics throughout the years on what qualifies adequate amount of rest. Some people may want to sleep, 4 hours a night, and they wake up and they're full of energy and full of zeal to pursue the rest of their day. And others, it takes them 6, 7, 8 hours at night. And when they get that amount of sleep, they feel good. Well, what we're here promoting today is that get your adequate sleep. It doesn't matter how long, as long as when you get up, you feel refreshed, you feel like your dopamine levels are doing good. You absolutely want to get enough rest, because that's going to contribute to your overall health and well-being. So to summarize this point, listeners, get yourself a good workout, get yourself adequate rest, get yourself adequate sleeping time. It is going to be extremely beneficial.
As we wrap up today's talks, we just want to say thank you for listening. And if you enjoy this podcast, make sure you hit the like button. And if you desire to hear more about overcoming depression, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next podcast.